All right, folks. The time has come. It's time for lightning talks. Just flashbanged myself with the projector. Okay, if you want to give a lightning talk, now's the time. Go line up on that wall. First come, first serve. Let's do it. Come on. Yeah, I don't know where you set up. Good luck.
Where do I have to set up? Here?
Probably up there, I guess. It's the one part I don't know.
Hello? Hi! I think that's very loud. Yeah, okay, sorry. So we are Garnix. I'm Julian, this is Alex, and that's Zunke. So we thought we'd give a talk immediately after the previous workshop because we're Garnix, and we thought that we could show you how CI and hosting's a new thing. CI caching and hosting works with Garnix from signing up to having your checks on GitHub and on the website, to caching, to deployments, which are a new feature. Sorry. And the premise here is like these lightning talks are supposed to be 5 minutes long, so I'm going to be measuring like the time myself, and we're going to try to do this in 5 minutes, right? So from not having an account to having servers running, NixOS servers running in the 5 minutes.
Cool. So we're going to start by signing up here. Garnix currently uses GitHub for authentication. So Zunke is going to sign up through GitHub. And then finish sign up. Agree to the terms of service. And then the next step is to enable Garnix on a repo. So going to choose the repo that we want to build. And we prepared a repo with some small Haskell project ahead of time. We're going to set that up now. Cool. And as you can see, there's no build yet, and that's just because we haven't pushed any commits since setting up the repo. So Zunke is now going to push a commit to this repo that we just set up. And give it a minute. And what Garnix, the first thing Garnix is going to do is evaluate your flake Nix that it finds. There's nothing Garnix specific in this repo. There's just a flake file in the root that has some packages, some NixOS configurations, and some checks in it. And Garnix is just going to immediately start evaluating this. And you can see our check has failed here. So if you go in here, you can see that there's an issue. Oh, yeah, there it goes. And you can see that this was a check to make sure that there was no to-dos in the code base, and it failed because of that. All these checks are also visible on GitHub, so you can go there and see them all there.
Yeah, so we have here, Garnix is reading through your flake file. It sees that there are 2 NixOS configurations. It's building those. It also sees that there's a check. It builds that. The check is just a regular flake check. So you can run this locally with the standard Nix tools, Nix flake check, which solves the problem that you have in other systems where, reproducing a CI failure or whatever locally is quite hard. This is just Nix. So if we look at what it says here, the check is just checking that there are no to-dos in the source code. And it failed because there is, in fact, a to-do. So we're going to fix that. And that's the to-do. I don't know if you can see it, but the to-do says, say hello to NixCon. This is a small Haskell server, so we're going to change that to say hello to NixCon, fix that. And we're going to do one more thing. We're going to add a garnix.yaml. So this is going to be the first Garnix-specific thing on this repository. And that garnix.yaml is going to have, I don't know if you can see this, but it specifies what servers to deploy. So this is something new. Everything that we've shown so far is available. You can sign up. It doesn't cost anything. You can sign up right now and use it. This is still behind an alpha waitlist. So if you want to use this, sign up for the waitlist. And this is going to deploy your servers to Garnix's own infrastructure. So if we push this, we have now presumably a second entry in the build. This is the second commit that we've pushed. And we have to wait a little while. And we see the same things as before, because the deployment is going to come in as a new check after everything else is done. So if we wait a few seconds, hopefully we still have a few seconds. Yeah, if we wait a few seconds, we'll see these things finish. By the way, all of this is cached. So Ryan and John talked about caching and all of these things. So we have a local cache, so we make sure that between builds, everything is much faster. And we see that everything's succeeded. The cache you can use as a remote cache, so you can download it locally as well, so you don't have to build everything. And now we see the two deployments. At the end of that, we're going to have the two servers, the backend and the front end, talking to one another, and every commit they update with 0 downtime. Okay, so I am running out of time. This doesn't, this will take a few more minutes before it's deployed, but once it's deployed, the server will be running, and will say, hello, NixCon, when you do a curl. Yeah. Thank you.
Well done for 5 minutes. All right, next person up. If you got a demo, get in that line. Line's looking pretty short. Come on. Hey, Tom, do a Nix REPL demo. Do a Nix REPL demo. No, I mean, get in line to do it. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So these tokens too, if I use one of these tokens, can I get on the Garnix waitlist? A little bump. Okay, so I'm going to go through a project I've been working on for the past 2 months. It's basically what I'm trying to do is make Vercel for Nix. I'm not going to go through the entire thing like the Garnix people just did, but I'll just give a brief overview of like what it's trying to do and what you can do with it today. So I gotta find my mouse. So I'm just gonna go over deploying a Nix flake on Flakery and connecting to Tailscale. So what you can do is you create a Tailscale service using this flake template and add your service to your configuration with an auth file key. And can I zoom in? Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. There we go. Now I gotta find the mouse again. Here you go. So yeah, it's not too crazy. And then I already have one here. So you would take this, copy it, head over to flakery.dev, and then create your. This would say sign in with GitHub if I wasn't already signed in. You'd sign in. You can paste it here and hit create. But I already have one created with the right syntax. Like you have to make sure you use a valid flake URL. And then when you have that, where is that link? Where'd it go? Right there. What you can do is then add your auth key which I would show you it, but I don't want to give that to everybody here. But you can add a file to this template here with your Tailscale auth key, and then go ahead and create a deployment. And what this will do is provision you a VM and apply that flake to the VM with this secret file there. And then, after you wait a few minutes, you should be able to see it in your Tailscale and then connect to it via SSH. So it's basically, it's like if you have a Nix flake that configures a NixOS module, you just put it into this form, hit go, and then you'll get a VM with that configured. And one day it's going to have auto scaling and load balancers and lots of cool stuff. But I'd really love you guys to check it out, try it out, and if you want, you can join my Matrix server and give me feedback. Yeah, that's all I got. Question? It's open source. It's scattered, but I'm gonna get it all in one place. So, yeah. All right.
All right, thank you very much. Let the next one get set up. Yeah. If we don't get more people in line, I'm just going to make Tom do more stuff. I know. No, I'm pretty sure Tom would love to give plenty of demos. Yes. After Nix REPL, we can do Nix output monitor. You can do a one-liner with Parallel to do some crazy stuff. You ready? Cool.
Hey there, this is a very humble demo. I haven't built anything, but I thought about sharing this, which happened last week, as sort of like motivational for newcomers and just general Nix appreciation. So last week, I picked up this ticket. Our Kafka client would stop processing messages and never recover. And I couldn't wrapper it locally. And basically, it would freeze with this log message that the application max poll interval was exceeded. And not being able to repro, I tried to trace this message, and I managed to find it inside the librdkafka source code. And my naive approach to this was, well, can I print debug my way to understanding what is happening here? Like, why does the prod consumer hit this line of code, but mine doesn't? Does this function ever get called? Do we always reach this return here? And my first problem is, this is my dependency chain. I have my application, I have the company's wrapper for the Kafka library, I have the Haskell Kafka library, and then I have RDKafka, the C library that HW Kafka client uses. How can I swap RDKafka for my local version? Without Nix, I have no idea how to do this. With Nix, I know there's a chain of derivations that takes me from my application to RDKafka. And then what I do is I just go to search.nixos.org, and I find Can you hear me now? Yes. Awesome. All right. So I click source, and I find the definition of HW Kafka client here. And inside library system depends, I find RDKafka. And then I go to search.nixos.org. I go to the source for RDKafka, and I see it's fetched, the source is fetched from GitHub. And I think, can can I just point that source to my local directory? I know make derivation can be changed with override headers, so I do that. Point it to a local checkout of libardi Kafka, but how do I make HW Kafka client use it though? Can I use an overlay? Can I make my Nix packages, RD Kafka, use this overridden RD Kafka, which points to my local checkout? It didn't really work. I don't know why. I thought overlays allowed me to replace packages, but, well, it's not using my local version with my print debugs. But I have other tools. Can I override headers on the HW Kafka client? Well, I try it. It doesn't error out, but still doesn't work. It's not printing my debugs. Google, I find slides from NixCon 2015 talking about override cabal. I use override cabal. Library system depends points to my RD Kafka, and it works. My takeaway, I would have no idea how to do this without NixOS. Like how to replace a C library deep in my dependency chain without Nix. Who knows, maybe doing this without Nix is easy, perhaps even easier, but it's not discoverable. With Nix, the dependency chain is all declared and readable, and I can poke at it. So in a sense, for the average programmer like me, Nix is a little bit like a superpower.